People tell me that they want to study Japanese as well, but then they don't know where to get started because there's so many resources online these days and it can get overwhelming. So today I wanted to sit down and talk about 5 apps that I use on my phone to study Japanese. Whether you're a beginner or know nothing, or you're a more advanced learner, I'm sure that these can be helpful for you. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Evie. On this YouTube channel, I want to talk about how I study Japanese. I want to be able to make it a more productive and enjoyable experience if you're also language learning. So yeah, today's video, I'm talking about just apps that I use to study Japanese. And so the first one is Anki. I feel like everyone knows about Anki, but it is so useful. It took me a while to get into using Anki. So the way Japanese works, technically to learn the language, you need to learn the 3 alphabets, right? So you got hiragana, katakana, and then kanji, which you will be gradually learning across your language learning journey. But with Anki, you can quickly learn hiragana, katakana in like 2 weeks. If you're really trying to speedrun learning Japanese, which I don't recommend, you can learn it in a day or 2. Anki is step 1 to getting all the alphabets done and dusted. After you've done that, you can start using Anki for what I use it for, which is vocab and kanji. So obviously when you're learning a language, you want to learn as many words as possible. I think Anki is the best way because it uses spaced repetition. Spaced repetition is the method of studying something over spaced out intervals, with each interval increasing over time. Our brains are able to memorize things more effectively over this spaced amount of time, and so while it takes time to complete the circuit of learning something for the first time and finally remembering it permanently and having it stored in our long-term memory, this method actually requires less time studying compared to if we were having intense hours of studying or cramming all this information the night before a test, which, by the way, you will definitely forget in a week's time. So with Anki, you get to do your reviews just before your brain forgets the item, and so you know it's the perfect time to review it. That's my motivation for getting rid of my notifications as soon as I can, because I know that the longer I leave it, the less likely I'll be able to remember it without making mistakes, and the less mistakes you make, the faster it is to learn that information. When I'm learning a kanji, I'm not going to remember it tomorrow. So when I get notifications of Anki, I will try my best to do it then and there, because that notification is telling me you've got reviews to do now. If you don't do them now, the chance of you forgetting them is increasing as time goes by. Using Anki on my phone really revolutionized my study, because now I've built this good habit of waking up first thing in the morning, get rid of my spaced repetition notifications as soon as I can. In my opinion, this is definitely like the lowest effort way to study Japanese. Whatever level you're at, you can steal a deck that someone else has already made. It's super easy and super worth your time. Okay, so app number 2. Oh, that's such a boring recommendation, but I'm just thinking in terms of if my phone only had 5 apps, or the 5 apps I'm downloading, okay? I don't want to download every single Japanese learning app because I've done that, but I don't use them. Anyways, back to the second one. I use Japanese dictionary. Obviously, you're gonna need a dictionary if you're studying a language, right? I love this dictionary because if you see a kanji, you don't know how to type it in. There's a place where you can write, and then what I like to do is save them into different lists. As you can see, my lists are not very comprehensive. Say I want to learn like travel phrases, right? And so when I go on a trip, I can just click on this list and remember those ones. Okay, so the list that I predominantly use is Jaccent, which is a Japanese game that I'm playing. If you can tell from the words here, they are mainly words that I don't think I'll use in real life. I just compiled this list because I'm playing the game right now, and I know that if I learn these words, then I'll be able to play the game without looking out these words every single time. I love this dictionary in particular because it tells you what level the words are. So if you're studying JLPT, you can check this list and then you study these words, and then you'll be ready for your exam. Like, you don't need to buy a separate book for like JLPT vocab, JLPT kanji, blah blah blah. You can just have this all here on this app, and I think that's super useful. The third app is Netflix, which kind of is cheating, not really, but almost everyone has Netflix, right? Now you can start using Netflix to supplement your language learning. I like to refresh the content that I'm consuming for studying, because if you're always using a textbook, it can get boring. So on Netflix, you can find lots of different content in Japanese, and they will come with Japanese subtitles. So right now, I'm at the level where I just want to watch something in Japanese and then use Japanese subtitles. If I use English subtitles, I know that my brain is going to read faster than listen and try to understand in Japanese. I don't understand everything yet, but that's the point, because if you understand everything, you're not going to learn anything. Right now, I'm watching this TV show called Old Enough, and it's about these toddlers that are sent on little missions by their family. It's just super funny because it's narrated in Japanese. It's only one season though, so I think I'm gonna finish it soon. Besides native content, I have gone through a phase where I watch like English content and then I watch it dubbed in Japanese, which I don't know if that's natural, but it's still better than nothing. I even watched like Shrek 1, 2, 3 in Japanese. I don't know why. App number 4. Number 4 is HelloTalk. Basically a language learning app where you can find other people that are studying the same language as you, or people from that country learning your language. Oh my god, I can't speak. So for example, I am studying Japanese, right? So in my HelloTalk profile, I have set that I'm studying Japanese, and so on my timeline, there's a bunch of Japanese people who are learning English. So the thing I like about HelloTalk is you can like write a status and be like, hey, does anyone want to talk right now? Yeah. No, I'm not gonna post that. The best part about this app and why it's better than other social media, particularly for language learning, is they have this thing where you can translate, you can correct people, you can transliterate, which is useful for Japanese. If you use transliteration, it'll come up with the romaji, as you can see here. Otherwise, I'll press hide, and then correction. Well, I'm not going to correct his Japanese. Okay, if I see someone's English, how about do you feel working holiday? I'll click this and I'll do correction, and then I'll change it to how do you feel about working holiday, and then I'll send it, and then there you go, that's the correction sent. If you have homework or something and you want to write a sentence, you can ask people, can someone please correct my Japanese? Someone will help you. It's kind of hacky, but yeah, I used to use it all the time when I had homework. It's a great way to practice reading, writing, speaking, listening, yeah, everything. Especially colloquial Japanese, which I have struggled to learn. We often studied the more formal way of speaking Japanese, and sometimes it would come across as robotic or unnatural. And so on HelloTalk, you can see how people actually interact. One thing I will say about language exchange apps, kind of need to be careful because some people are just on there because they want a date, or they're looking for something more, or they're always like, do you have Line? Do you have WeChat? And I always just say, no, I don't have any of that. And then they'll leave you alone. Yeah, I try not to talk to those kind of people. Maybe you should take advantage of that because then they won't be talking to you in English. I don't know, but be careful, right? The last app I want to show is Jaccent. If you look up words in the dictionary, it doesn't show you how to pronounce the word. For today, I want to learn the word dictionary. So if I type in dictionary, it's gonna come up with here, jisho. You can just play it out loud. Jisho. Jisho. Oftentimes I learn through reading, but then I can't hear how you pronounce it. It's really bad to just read and read and read and not actually hear how the words go, because then you're teaching yourself your version of the language. Or, you know, since I'm a native English speaker, I will teach myself the Englishified pronunciation of the Japanese word. And so to stop that, I've basically relied on Jaccent. I almost made this video like you can learn all of Japanese with just these apps, but I personally don't study grammar on apps. Again, you can use Anki as well, but I like to use Anki just for vocab and kanji. If you want to hear about my whole language journey and how I started from 0 to now, maybe I can make that video. I kind of want to make a video in Japanese. We'll see where this channel goes, but thank you for watching. If this video helped you, or if you're downloading any of these apps right now, make sure to like the video. Go and check out the video I made last week, which was 3 things I wish I knew before I started studying Japanese. So yeah, hopefully that video can help you and so you won't make the same mistakes as me.